Bro gets the head of the whole event, bro. Brings his ass to the door, cooperates with some other manager. They're like, put all of them on the list. I got everyone in that. I got everyone in, all 8 of us into that party, and none of us had badges for it. Okay, it's story time about Offkai. Chat, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Listen, I might be irrelevant when y'all look at my CCV, but in person, I had some motion. Okay, and I was kind of surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit surprised because I low-key thought everybody hated me. I'm gonna be so dead ass. The Twitter propaganda was getting to me, okay? When you see like a tweet every 2 to 3 business weeks with 6,000 to 10,000 likes of people just like ripping your asshole apart, giving you new orifices, like I really thought in person people were gonna be like, but no, people in person were low-key chill. So I appreciate y'all, you know, shout out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? It was good vibes. It was good vibes for the most part. So I get to Offkai a day early, okay? I get there on Thursday, all right? And my plan was, yo, I'm gonna get dinner with the homies, okay? The homies was not trying to get dinner with me, okay? F you, Johnny, okay? All of y'all, honestly, all right? Asteroid music, no, I'm kidding. They were busy, okay? They were busy, all right? My plan was I was gonna take everyone out to dinner, okay? You know, for the one time. And I was gonna say hi to everyone. They're like, we're busy. I was like, what you mean you're busy? Yo, tell me why. After I had him doing sound check at 8 p.m. So that was a flop, okay? Couldn't do that. Next day, they were all busy. But the day one, I was like, I'm gonna get my badge early and wait for Johnny to finish his like sound check. Cause I thought they were doing it at like noon, okay? Noon to like 4, right? That's what I thought, that's what they thought. I get there, you know, I'm chilling, I'm standing in line. Listen, at this point, like I said, I thought everyone hated me. So, okay, day one, I was standing in line like this on my phone, like, you know, anxious as okay? First of all, I get there, this is the old TwitchCon venue from like 2016, first TwitchCon I ever went to. So it was like a throwback. Okay, last time I was at this bitch was like middle school. So I was in this line, and this is when I was a fan of streamers, and now I'm a streamer that people are fans of. Like, it's crazy, you know, tables have turned. But I'm in the line, and I guess I forget, I don't know, I really only see myself as big as my Twitch following, but I forget, like, the disease of my content has spread further than this tiny platform. This is probably my smallest platform, but this is the one I, like, consider the most when I kind of gauge interest for things, right? So I was standing in this line, bro. It starts outside. I'm like, oh, okay. It starts outside. You pick it up at the front desk. That's it. We go inside. It snakes like 8 times. I'm like, bro, what you mean you snaking 8 times? So I'm standing in line, and I have like some people like in line, and the snake were like looking at me all weird. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers might know who I am. And then one of them was like, can I get a picture? I was like, it, sure, whatever. So I take a picture. You know, when you take one picture, everyone else in line is like, trying to be like, who is this? You know, everyone's trying to like lock in and be like, is this someone I know, to kind of see. So then like 4 other people walk up. I'm like, damn, y'all, they're like leaving their spot in line. I'm like, you know, taking a picture of me, okay? Let me take your spot in line. You like damn near an hour wait ahead of me. Can I just like, you know, be like, yo, Quinn, what's good? You know, pretend like we friends or something, okay? Like, why you want to take a picture? Like, let me cut in line, okay? But, you know, whatever, okay? I stood in line. I didn't wait, okay? I didn't flex my... I should have asked someone to let me cut in line, honestly. I'm thinking about that now. I didn't even think about that then. But I was sitting there with literally a water cup in my mouth like this. And my was like, oh, are you Quinn? And I was like, maybe. So I took a few pictures. There was like 4 or 5, nothing crazy. Then after the snake, you walk across the room and there was another snake. Like, yo, I should have just flatlined at that point. Like, go f me, man. Okay, another snake. So it took me an hour and a half to get my badge. And I went there a day early thinking it would be quicker. I low-key think everyone thinks it's gonna be quicker a day early, so everyone goes a day early so it's longer. So f that. But anyways, I was waiting for Johnny, okay, this whole time, literally standing in the center of the con entrance. Bro, I have people walking up to me. I'm like, Johnny, where the f are you, bro? Where the f let me come backstage. Where the f are you? Y'all, sorry, you can't come back here. I'm like, okay, why not? Well, you weren't invited. Offkai didn't invite me. I'm not clouded. I had a weekend badge. Okay, so if you have a weekend badge, that means you paid to go there and like you're not relevant. So I decided to go there 2 weeks ago. I probably could have gotten like a cool kids badge, but I didn't because it was so last minute. So I was with the normies, okay, which honestly where I belong. And then this random lady, bro, I sort of got like an angel. I don't know. I don't even remember her name, okay, but she said hi to me like 80 times after this. comes from the industry section down to me and is like, do you want me to bring you backstage? And I was like, me, you know me, of course. So I go backstage, and I pretty much get to look at all the artist alleys and the booths getting set up prior, you know. When I'm at the artist alley, I run into Naomi and Avery, you know, ex-Dustco, you know. I was like, hey, what's good, friends? What's good? What's good, friends? You know, I run into, who else I run into? Oh, Lacia Everlight, if y'all don't know, fire artist. All right, next day, well, technically day one, because that was day 0.5. Day one, first day of the event, I made sure I woke up like kind of early. I woke up at like 10:30. The event started at like 11. So I woke up at 10:30, showered, all that, you know, walked my ass to a cafe to get me some food, some breakfast, and I go to the event. The first day was kind of the most random one. Nothing was really planned, but I did so much. Honestly, I'm glad so many people went, like creator friends of mine that I didn't know were going. So I would kind of just bounce around between groups because I literally had no plans. My plan was to hang out with Johnny and his group, but they had it all day that day. They had like a panel, a concert. So I was just roaming around by myself like a chicken with his head cut off. So the first day I walked through all the Artist Alley booths. The first day in the Artist Alley was insane. It was the most crowded it was the whole event. There were like lines. My friend, Dusko's booth had a line around through the whole hall just to get from there. So I was like, damn, that's a lot of damage. So, of course, my greedy ass, I was not waiting in that line. So I went behind the booth. I was like, yo, what's good? And got all my shit priority early. All of y'all plebeians that had to wait. This is what having friends is for. Okay, the power of friendship. Oh, wait, this is a lawyer's business card I got. I'm keeping this. Yo, I had a lawyer walk up to me day one. Yo, they were like, listen, bro, if you need legal representation, I got you. I was like, yo, this feel a little bit targeted. I ain't gonna lie. They said my name and everything. I was like, what you mean if I need legal representation? They're like, you the target. Like, they pretty much said, like, you're the target audience. Like, you need a lawyer. I was like, oh, I was like, this would have been great, like, you know, a year and a half ago, honestly. So anyways, apparently their whole company had like a booth at Offkai, bro, like a whole ass law firm. Like, and it wasn't awesome like bullshit. Like, it's a real law firm. And one guy at the law firm convinced his company to like let him go to Offkai because he thinks more VTubers need lawyers. And his law firm agreed. So like he somehow figured out how to go to Offkai on a work trip. And like the company, like his law firm was like, yeah, f it. Like my man is a go. No. Because imagine somehow convincing your law firm that to get you to buy a booth for you at Offkai, pay for your ticket, and get you industry access. Because you know he's just a VTuber fan, bro. And he was like, yo, this is the best 4 days of work ever. W scam, honestly. Shout out to him. He did great with that. I'm not gonna lie. I respect. He was cooking, and he's not wrong. A lot of VTubers need better copyright because you technically it's art and it's an IP and it's an image and like so it's a good opportunity or union of interest. So it's not even a scam, but W scam though. You know what I'm saying? W scam though. They're not a VTuber lawyer firm. They're just a normal lawyer firm, but now they're like willing to represent VTubers. Honestly, day one I did not get ganked that much. By the way, when I say ganked, that means people asking me to take a photo. Within my friend group, I made the term up, ganked. I was like, oh, they got ganked. Whenever one of us would get pulled over to have a picture, I'd be like, we getting ganked. Oh, they got ganked. Just because I think it's hilarious, okay? If y'all play League of Legends, a gank is when like someone comes into your lane and tries to kill you, like without you knowing or without you being ready for it. So I was like, oh, they got ganked. They got ganked. So I kept throwing that around like, yeah, you got ganked. So if I say I get ganked, that's what I mean. Okay, people were asking for pictures. But yeah, so the first day I didn't get ganked that much, honestly. I maybe had like 10 people ask for pictures, which low-key, I'm not gonna lie, when I went to WeebCon a year ago, right after debut, I maybe had 10 people ask me for pictures the entire time. The first day I was at Offkai, I had 10 people, which is crazy. Because especially back then, I had like 2,000 viewers average, and now I have like 200. What's happening? It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. So then I ended up running into Junie. I ran into Joel and Toma, randomly walking on the artist alley, and ended up going to like lunch with them, which was fun. It was nice. I love Juniper, bro. She's such a vibe. I literally feel like she can just vibe with anyone. And then Joel was super cool. I was walking on the artist alley with him. He didn't actually come to lunch with us because homie was still buying merch. And then I went with Toma too. And then two other people that I don't really remember the names of or know who they are, to be honest, but they were like with the group, my fault gang. And then Toma's also funny because yo, the first thing I said to her, I was like, damn, you shorter than I thought. She was like, I swear to God, she gotta be like 4'8", bro. There's no way. Like that is like a miniature lady right there. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like she was tiny. It was tiny. Anyways, I kept making jokes about that. We got pizza, which was fun. And then after that, we kind of split off. I went and ended up meeting up with some former colleagues of mine. I'm not gonna say who specifically because I don't know who specifically said they were there. Also, some colleagues that I had not met yet that are like in newer groups. So, and then I also met Sunny, who was also, you know. And so that was kind of random. Was kind of talking to them a bit, which was fun. I didn't really know that many. I knew one person was going because I got a DM on Twitter being like, yo, you going? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this. I was like, type shit, you gonna give me this? Okay. And so they gave me that because they made it on stream one time. And then there was more people with them. I didn't even know. Nobody even told me. Well, also, I don't really have a way to contact any of the newer people. But yeah, it was nice to finally meet some of the potential colleagues that I could have had. And we ended up getting like randomly, they invited me to like KBBQ. So I went to KBBQ with everyone. So I was just kind of there vibing with everybody. Be honest with you. I was just like, damn, that was a lot of fun. It was nice to kind of catch up with people I haven't spoken to in a while. Last time I saw some people in my like group was like Japan, like 2023. No? Yeah, 2023, bro. It's been a minute. It's been like 2 years almost. So that was fun. Last time I saw some of them was 2023. And then there was my first time meeting some of them, which was lit. And then there was one guy that I met at Offkai 2 years ago that is friends with some of my friends that I saw again. And I low-key need to get his contact because he's a vibe too. Anyways, but yeah, my original plan or the group I was originally going to meet up with and hang out with most of the time was Connor, Lando, and I don't know if they said they were there. So I'm not going to say their name. Another one of like you know what I'm saying? One of the boys. And then they brought this cool guy named like June that I met for the first time, who's like another VTuber. He's a vibe. I fuck with him. He knows everybody. I'm not gonna lie. That was at KBBQ ended at like 6. There was a party which was Oshi Bar, which happened at like, I don't remember, like 9 or some shit. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. That was something I like got an invite to the VIP section. How did I even do that? I'm not gonna lie, every VIP event that was like a thing I somehow got into. I scammed. I'm just, like I said, I'm good at scamming. So I scammed my way into that. I don't really remember how or who invited me or how I think Toma like link put me through. So I went there, W scam. There was like a rooftop they rented out for like the private section of the kind of, so Oshi Bar was like a bar they rented out with that they were doing concerts. I think like Cotton performed, Toma was an MC. There were some other people performing too. And then on the roof, there was a VIP section outside. And so I remember Joel and everyone was going and I was like, yo, and by the way, in San Jose, it's like cold at night. It's like 60 degrees, 50 to 60 degrees with wind too. And I was like, is it outside? And they were like, I don't know. So I asked Toma and Toma was like, yeah, it's outside. I was like, shh. Walked all the way back to my hotel, got my coat, then went to the Oshi Bar. So I get there, bro, a line wrapped around the fucking block for this thing. I'm like, shh. But you know what I'm saying? I had the VIP plug. So, you know, I ain't got to wait in that line like the rest of you motherfuckers. So then I walked past it and there was a separate line that was VIP that was still low-key pretty long. I was like, why the f is this line? Not nearly as long. It was like 1/16 of the size of the other one. But I was like, the fact that there's a line this long for VIP is crazy because how are there this many VIPs? But whatever. I get to the line there, okay? And I'm not going to lie. Listen, not to ego anyone. I just think this is funny. I walk up to the end of the VIP line, okay? And at this point, I'm not really 100% sure it's the VIP line. But I walk up and the 5 girls at the end of the VIP line, eyes go like this. As if they recognize me. And I'm like, oh, shit. And not on some like, I recognize you as a friend. It's like, I recognize you as like a fan. And I was like, wait. So immediately I asked them. I'm like, wait, guys, is this the VIP line? Because like, listen, me getting ganked in a VIP line, I'm like, this is not the like my brain was like, there's no way this is the VIP line if people recognize me and are like fans of me. You know, I thought the VIP line was gonna be like people I already knew, right? So not on some like, why are you here thing, but it was just like, I was like, wait, am I in the right spot? And they're like, yeah, of course it's a VIP line. Like, why else wouldn't it be? And I was like, I mean, you just asked me for a picture, so like, I mean, you know, the vibe was a little bit like, I just felt like a little bit odd, you know? I was like, okay, you know, like, that's fine, you know? But I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think the VIP line is people you know. But there was like, obviously there was more people in, people could bring plus ones. But yeah, I just did not expect anyone to like give a about me in the VIP line because it was the VIP line. Anyways, those girls were super chill, okay? Not to ego them, okay? But like, they were super chill. So I have no issues with them. They were like Australian. They were telling me they flew their ass all the way here. I was like, what the I was like, for Offkai? I was like, you didn't, like, not AX, not Twitch. I'm like, Offkai? I mean, Offkai is lit, but it's like, it's not that big of a convention in retrospect to like some of the other ones, right? And they were, yeah, so they were chill. I mean, one of them was chill. I was talking to her in line. She was super nice. While I was in line for this VIP thing, the boys pulled up, bro. At first, I was like, damn, this is dud. I didn't recognize anyone in the VIP line. I was like, what the And after I had people recognize me, I was like, wait, maybe this is not my vibe. But then Connor and Lando pull up, and I'm like, my night is saved. I know, people. So I was in line with them. So get to the rooftop. The rooftop, honestly, listen, the vibe was cool. You know, my only complaint was they had a preset menu of drinks. I can't drink alcohol, so I got water. I was like, damn, they didn't have no Sprite. They didn't have no Coca-Cola. I was like, you making mixed drinks and you don't even have Sprite? I was like, come on, man, no Sprite? I need some Sprite. Like, you know, I need some Sprite. Like, because most mixed drinks, like half of them use Sprite. So I was like, oh, they'll have Sprite for sure. No, so I was just drinking. They didn't have Coke, nothing. Because it was like a private bar upstairs that they could only have so many drinks up there because it wasn't a real bar. It was like a table setup that they turned into a bar. Whatever. The vibe was cool though. There was all these buildings, you're on a roof. I mean, I was meeting a bunch of people but I was just talking to people. I mean, there were people up there that I recognized, like there were a lot of friends. I was really vibing with June and this other guy who were friends with Connor and Lando, who came with them to Offkai. Also, Ice was there too, if y'all know who that is, but I love him. Okay, he's like always happy to see me, and he's always a positive vibe, and I'm such a negative person. I'm like, damn, how are you not miserable? But like, I with the vibes though. He's like, I with your honesty. I'm like, yeah, but like I with, you know, you being positive and shit. So they were chill. I always love seeing them. I've seen them, like I saw them was it TwitchCon? TwitchCon was the last time I saw them. Yeah, they're a vibe. And I was talking to June. There was another guy, I don't have his contact information, but I was vibing with them on the roof. Okay, like new friends. They were super nice. They were the vibe. I low-key was talking with them. It was great. That was fun. We left as a group and we ended up going back to one of our hotel rooms and just kind of chatting a bit and then went to bed. You know what? I'm gonna be cocky about it. Yo, I got emotion. I'm about to tell y'all a story that's crazy. Okay, no. I got motion. Yes. Like I said, I really think I'm not and I'm irrelevant, but it's okay because when the world needed my clout the most, it delivered. All right. So, y'all keep in mind, I have a weekend badge. Okay, meaning you're not privy to any of the industry or guest parties. Nothing. Right. I was trying to get +1 to this Offkai mixer event that was sponsored by like vShojo and some other like groups that had like an open bar. It was like a networking event or like a party for all of like the clouded people or industry people, right? I was trying to get Johnny to give me to be his +1. They were not fucking having it. They're like, it's too late. We can't add any more +1s. It's very strict. And I was like, then I remember Connor and Landon were trying to go too with me. And we're like, well, none of us had badges to get in. Our friend June didn't have one. Ice didn't have one. No one had one. Okay. But some people had them down as their +1s. I was trying to get in. This random girl from 2 Offkais was like, I think I can get you in. So she went to talk to somebody. So they were able to get me in, but then no one else could get in. And I was like, wait. Hold on. The guy at the door. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay. This is no ego. This is no nothing. You can even exclude me out of this. The people that I was trying to get into this party were some of the most clouded people at this event, but none of us had badges for it, right? Okay. So the fact that they won't let us in is crazy, but they were just following the rules. So what I did is the guy so Ice was hyping me up. He's like, nah, bro, you're him, bro. You're him. I was like, yo, you know what, Ice, just show him your Twitter. Like, they'll let your ass in, bro. Just show him the cloud one, they'll let you in. He was like, no, you show him your Twitter. You got this, bro. You're him. You're the Quinn Benet. I was like, shut your dumb ass the up, bro. So we get there. The guard at the door prior to this event met me with his girlfriend the first day of Offkai. So I was like, he knows who the I am, right? So my brain went beep boop beep boop. I'ma use this connection right here, okay, to my advantage. Yes, I'ma utilize the clout that I have. All right, this is the first time I've ever been able to do this. Okay, I felt like a G. I was like, damn. So they won't let us in. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna go. Whatever. I talked to the guy at the gate. I'm like, yo, is there any way you can get me in? He's like, and I was like, get me and my friends in. And he was like, let me go talk to someone. Bro gets the head of the whole event, bro. Brings his ass to the door, cooperates with some other manager. They're like, put all of them on the list. I got everyone in that bitch. I got everyone in, all 8 of us into that party. And none of us had badges for it. None of us were supposed to get into that. None of us were anyone's +1. Nothing. Okay. I literally scammed. I've never felt more relevant in my entire life. I was like, damn, this is motion. Like I've never experienced a moment like this in my entire career where I felt like I was able to do something. Because normally I am the +1, okay? Normally my friends are the ones getting me into everything. So this is the first time in my entire career that I got everyone into an event. And the people I was getting in were arguably more relevant than me. Like, Connor is way more relevant than me. Landon is more relevant than me. They didn't have invites. I was like, what the But yo, I got us all in somehow, okay? And they were very strict about the guest list. They're like, yeah, we can't have anyone. We're at capacity, right? Because I tried getting in normally. They're like, yeah, we're at capacity. Sorry, we can't have last minute +1s. Then I talked to the guy and he's like, yeah, we could add 8 +1s, couldn't we? Yeah, we brought 8 motherfuckers into that bitch. 8. I was like, this is the peak of my career. This is the peak of my career. I was able to get everyone into a party. Like, who am I? I actually am him for once. You know, it was actually crazy. I genuinely felt like impressed with myself. I was like, damn, I actually somehow pulled that off. So I scammed and got us all into a private event. I was him for once. I was like, damn, I've never been him before. It was crazy. So they had like free drinks and shit there, and they actually had Coke. They had Coke, which was like Coca-Cola. 8 because you ate. I know. It was crazy. So we were there. We were talking to people in there. I met a lot of people, honestly. But yeah, it was a good time. I was just surprised I was able to get everyone into that. To be honest, like that was the most impressive thing to me. I was like, damn, I kind of did that. Where am I? And then I remember I walked up to Johnny in there. He's like, how did you get in? I'm like, listen, not only did I get in, Johnny, I got everybody in, Yo, I was riding that high for the next like 24 hours. I was like, damn, that's crazy. And Ice was like, see, I told you, you're him, bro. You're him. I was like, nah, you trying to give me a ego. Like, I really am not him. But for somehow I got us in there. Which was crazy, bro. It was actually crazy. I went to round 1 with the girly pops and the gays. Okay. You know, I left my straight friend groups to go with my with the LGBT. Okay. Dead ass. I'm not even kidding. Like, genuinely, that is like what happened. I went from like the bros to the girly pops. It was crazy, stark transition. But you know, I with both groups. So I went to the arcade with the girly pops. Okay, we met up with 2 groups here. So my group that I came with was like the people I told you about, and then more people that I didn't know were showing up too to meet us there, I guess, that were friends with everyone else. So they show up and we're sitting at these tables. This was just so funny to me. And we're like eating or drinking or whatever. And like, do you guys play any arcade games yet? And Sawtone literally looks at Liz like, yeah, no, we were gonna play arcade games, but you know, these twinks wanted food. And just but these twinks wanted some food, and like makes like literally turns his head right at me and makes eye contact. It's like, yeah, but these twinks wanted food. And I was like, why the f you look at me when you said that? I was like, what the f? And keep in mind, I didn't get any food. Okay, there were a bunch of other twinks in the group that were eating food. Okay, there was one next to me. There was Johnny. There was Kira. Like, we had a lot of twinks in the group. Okay, so I don't know why the f you looked at me. I was the only one without food. Literally, the only one without food. And I was like, why did you look at me? And he was like, oh shit, my bad. Yo, I wasn't like meaning you. Like, you know, my eyes just locked on you immediately. And I was like, nah, that's crazy. And I was like, yo, bro, you were first in line for food, okay? Shut your hungry ass up. And he was like, and everyone at the table was like, damn, you got him with that one. And I was like, yeah, first in line for food, trying to call my ass out. But yeah, that was fun. The arcade was fun. I mean, I was low-key just drinking Coke and vibing. And then this is the most embarrassing thing, okay? All right, so guys, listen. I need to give y'all some context, okay? Lacey Everlight is fire artist, right? Talked about her earlier, okay? Someone was rude to her at a con and she made a tweet about it and was like, hey, I'd appreciate if people wouldn't like talk about my art in front of me. It's kind of rude. And I replied and I was like, yeah, those dud ass bitches. Your art's great, right? That was kind of the gist of it. The final day when I was walking back to my hotel, I swear to God, I thought I saw her. I thought I saw them. I really did. Turns out it was just another bitch who looked exactly like very similar to her. And I walked up to this person because someone else in the group said hi, right? And was like, oh, what's up, Quinn? On the street. And I was like, oh, wait, I recognize you. So I put my arm around this random girl that like knew who I was, but like I thought it was Lacey and it was not Lacey. And I'm like, you know, yo, the haters, da 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 da. And they kind of looked at me a little bit confused. And I was like, wait a damn minute. I look at the badge and I'm like, oh shit, this is a random bitch. Like I didn't know who the this was. I was like, yo, I met them earlier at the con, so they were a viewer of mine, but like it was not someone like I was like mutuals with. So I was like, oh shit. And I was dead ass too embarrassed to admit it in the moment. So I was like, yo, y'all have a good one. And I walked away and I was thinking to myself, holy shit, I'm a idiot. I was like, so if you're that random girl I met and put my arm around, it was like acting like I knew you for real. I mean, you knew who I was, but like, I apologize because they looked so confused. They actually looked so confused. I genuinely thought it was someone like one of my like mutuals and one of my friends. I genuinely did. No, they were just a viewer of mine that I met earlier in the day that looked similar enough to this person that my brain didn't make the connection. Because I've only ever met Lacey in person one time at this con, or like 3 days prior. So like I didn't really remember the face super accurately because I had met so many people, but it was similar enough that it was like, it could have been her. Yeah, no, it was not her. It was a random person. Like dead ass. I have no idea who. Like my fault, bro. Like to that girl, I apologize. You know, I mean, maybe it made your day. I don't know. You knew who I was, but like you were probably confused as shit. And my fault. You know, my bad. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, I really made a fool out of myself, bro. Like holy shit. And then I kind of walked back to my hotel room.